Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is John McGill, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Customer Service for XGS, Xpress Global Systems. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing real well, Kemp. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's taken us a little while to get together. I want to talk to you about this merger with Delta Distribution. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, for the listeners' benefit, Xpress Global Systems is a freight logistics company specializing in floor covering. I mean, you've got over-the-road trucks, you've got warehouses and software all designed around moving floor covering. And you specifically have been there about a year and a half. You spent about 11 years with Chip, the Blue Pallet Company, and you've got another 8.5 years. I think you started with DHL. Wanted to catch up post-COVID. That brought some issues in the logistics business. There were driver shortages, there were fuel costs, there were bottlenecks at the ports. Tell us, how's business today?
Kemp, it's a great recap on XGS. I appreciate it. We're having a good year this year, and I think a lot of it has to do with some of the things that you referred to that's happened over the last couple of years, and COVID really forced a lot of it. The driver shortages, fuel issues, port issues that have happened. I think it's really kind of forced the supply chain and transportation of flooring into the forefront of strategy for a lot of the mills and especially the retailers across the country. So I think today we've gone past the driver issue is going to be an issue for years to come. Fuel, obviously, I think everyone has seen has started to come down a little bit. Diesel fuel, not quite at the same pace as retail fuel. And as the ports have started to open up, a lot of the flooring industry is starting to now face port issues as it relates to the UFLPA and the forced labor issues, having difficulty getting product through the ports from Asia into the U.S. So we're starting to help customers with different solutions. Warehousing has become a big piece of it because once the product gets in, a lot of times it's sold and they need to get it to market quickly. So I think that's a key piece of where XGS fits in.
So as demand has moderated now in 23, the overseas container costs have come down. As far as the domestic pricing for hauling freight from one place to another, has that remained steady?
It has in the LTL world, which is about 85% of our business. The truckload market, the spot rate market has really fallen out and has done so really in line with what you saw with the ocean containers coming in. So truckload has definitely felt it. LTL capacity has definitely opened up. There's no doubt about it as the market has moderated. But from a pricing perspective, you still have a little bit of a specialty freight in the LTL in general and flooring more specifically. So pricing has maintained relative to previous years. The driver shortage, labor issues, still probably the largest inputs of cost into our business and any other LTL carrier's business. So as those inputs remain high and the inflation hasn't come down on those, that's where you've seen the LTL pricing remain relatively flat to a little bit up over last year and not have the fall that the truckload industry has had.
Mention the situation with Yellow Freight. I mean, I know they're a major LTL carrier, potentially 9% share of the total business, and what's going on with them?
Yeah, it's an interesting, almost on the hour, there's different updates happening with Yellow, but it's going to have a significant impact on the LTL market. To your point, Kemp, they're about 9% of the LTL capacity across the United States. They averted a strike over the course of the last week, and there was some leaks of news late last night about bankruptcy happening or filing for bankruptcy on Monday. So it's a tough time for the folks at Yellow right now, and obviously they've got 30,000 employees that think of first when you hear some of this news. You know, it'll have an impact. They move a lot of freight and flooring, and those customers are going to have to find capacity elsewhere. We started to see quite a bit of change and shift with some of the larger retailers and mills here in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and in them looking for other avenues to make sure their freight continues to keep moving. It's interesting news, and it's happening dynamically by the hour right now.
Well, let's get to this Delta Distribution news and talk about that strategy. You're owned by a private equity firm, Terry and Investment Partners. I guess they helped fund this acquisition. Tell us the strategy behind that.
Yeah, they've helped at Kemp. They're a good partner to XGS, and have helped with a couple acquisitions over the last 2 years with Seven Hills out in Texas and PCD in the Pac Northwest. And the most recent acquisition was with Delta Distribution, Michigan Carpet. That acquisition actually happened just before I got to XGS about 18 months ago. But what you're seeing now is our announcement of actually merging the two companies. So we're actively merging systems and line haul and delivery. So we've started in St. Louis and Indianapolis, and we're starting to do the integration this week in Detroit, and then we'll come through Cleveland and finally with the cross-dock operation in Calhoun. So we know with our customers, they've hung tough with us through the last couple of weeks. As you know, Kemp integrations aren't always the easiest, but we've got a lot of really strong people working to get this done. And so our goal is to have it done by August 21st. And based on all project plans now, we are on schedule to make sure all systems in the company is fully integrated. So front office, back office, it'll be one organization to our customers and how we operate internally. So strategically for us, we feel it's great for the industry. It gives a much more robust solution to the Midwest region from St. Louis to Pittsburgh and down obviously out of North Georgia. So we're excited about it. Our team is very excited about it. And as I said, once we get these systems integrated in the next couple of weeks, it will be one company operating under the XGS umbrella.
Let me ask you real quick. I think people that live in this business know that some of the logistics issues with carrying roll goods, 15-foot long carpet rolls, and then blending that with ceramic tile and boxed LVT. I mean, that's part of the mastery of what you guys do, right, is to make sure that you get that freight on the truck and without any damage when it gets there, right?
Yeah, I'll brag on our team a little bit, Kemp. I think one of the key things of XGS is our low damage rate. It always amazes me when I visit our service centers or the cross-dock down in Tunnel Hill, the way that they can put a trailer together, get it to the destination, make the final delivery, and really have industry-leading damage rates. Less than 0.2% of everything that gets moved down in our network has a damage or claim against it. And it's, to your point, it's a big puzzle that those guys are putting together each night when they're launching those trucks out of Tunnel Hill. Pallets and rolled goods are an interesting mix on the trailer.
All right, John, it was good to catch up with you. Thanks for telling us what's been going on. I guess this yellow freight news could be good for you. Again, been talking to John McGill, Senior Vice President of Sales and Customer Service for Xpress Global Systems, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.